Okay, so good evening, everyone. So what I was discussing was what are the various stages of analysis, right? So these are the various stages that we have as far as analysis is concerned. First is data extraction. We have to extract the data. Now, when we talk about extraction, there are various formats that we have as far as data is concerned, right? So majorly we have Excel, we have CSV, we have text. Okay. And then we have various different modules like maybe SQL, Oracle database. So these are called databases, right? So these are various formats through which the data comes to us. Now, once the data comes to us, and one more option, PDF also. So there are ways through which we can actually extract data in the form of PDF, and from PDF also we will be able to take out the data, extract the data from PDF, and we will be able to analyze our data, right? Then comes cleaning part. Okay. So under cleaning part, what happens is that we need to see for null values. If there are any null values, that is blank values. If there are any blank values that are there in my data, my first job is to actually remove that blank values before I do any kind of analysis, right? Then comes errors. If there are any errors, hashtag NA, you might have seen these errors, or maybe ref. So these are what? These are errors that we have in various different formats, right? Sometimes in text document, we have to actually do a data split also, so that our data can be bifurcated into various different columns. Okay. So I am just giving you a brief about it. We will see each and everything in detail as well. Then the next stage after that comes data transformation. So what is data transformation? Under data transformation, we need to create calculated columns which can help us do our analysis, right? We need to merge the data. We need to append the data. Merging the data means we have multiple sources. We have multiple tables. Okay, for example, one data is there in text format, another data is there in PDF format, and another data is there in Excel format, and so on. So if we have different formats, how to merge our data, how to actually join our data so that we can do the analysis. Then comes append. What is append? For example, if we want to do a 3 years analysis. So if you want to do a 3 years analysis related to sales. So in that case, if you have separate tables for separate 3 years, what you need to do? You need to append all the data. You need to join all the data so that you can do analysis, okay, by taking all at once, right? That all activities come under data transformation. And once the data transformation gets over, then only comes our data visualization. Clear? In data visualization, what we try to do? We try to create various different charts, graphs, okay, new age visuals, right? So all these things we need to create. We need to create a dashboard, correct? All these things come under data visualization, right? And our work doesn't get over here, okay? Then the next step becomes your deriving insights. That means we as a data analyst, we are not the people who are just going to create some visuals. We are going to take out actionable points out of that data. That is what we call insights. Okay. So once you do all the analysis, you will get some insights out of data. Based on insights, what you are going to do? You are going to create some actionable points. So if I give you an example, for example, you have three products, A, B, and C. Now, what you have seen is that A product is performing very well, B is performing a bit less than A, and C is not at all performing. Okay. Now, how you came onto the conclusion that A is performing and C is not performing? Based on data. Now you have created all the visuals, you have done all the calculation, you came to the conclusion that somewhere C needs a push. Okay, C needs a lot of marketing expenses to be done, right? So in this case, what you are going to do is you are going to channelize your resources towards C. When you know that A is already performing well, there can be some marketing expense cut down in A, and we should focus on C, right? So this is what we call creating some actionable points. Just a second, guys. I'll just come back. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So after doing all the analysis, the ultimate end goal should be the actionable points. That is our end goal. Okay. But as an analyst, we are not the owner of the business. We can only give our actionable points to the management. And then management is going to take decision based on these data. Okay. That is how we need to work in real life scenario, right? Hope this is clear, right? Now, when we talk about learning all these various stages, it is not necessary that you should follow a sequence. Okay. Independently, also, we can actually learn each stage at different levels, right? So, post that, yeah. So, I would request you all to please keep your cameras on so that it can be an interactive session. Now, this was something that I have discussed yesterday also, and today also we have tried to discuss the same thing. Now, third thing is that we actually jumped onto the data. Okay, we had this global superstore data, and it has various different columns and rows, right? We tried to understand the data, and we came to the conclusion yesterday that it is a sales data. Now, based on that, okay, we tried to understand what is the concept of KPI, that is key performance indicator. So if I explain you dashboard is nothing but a report card. Okay. If I explain dashboard is nothing but a report card of the business, right? Report card of the business. So now what do I mean by that? Okay, so business has various different aspects. Okay, various departments are there, various different things are there which can be analyzed related to business. Okay, so that all pointers on which we try to analyze the business is called KPI. Okay, KPI is just like a scorecard where we actually tell the audience or tell the user that look, this is how my sales is growing. This is my sales number. This is my profit number. This is my cost number. This is the percentage of profit that I am earning. Then this is a sales trend, month wise sales trends, how my sales is growing. Okay, all these things will come under a single dashboard. Okay, And all these key things are actually called as KPIs. Okay. So the first thing, whenever we get a data, okay, whenever we get a data like this, which might be quite overwhelming at some point of time, what we need to do, we need to understand the fields. These are called fields. So all these columns that are there, these are called my field data, right? This field word is very, very important because Power BI also recognizes field. Okay. So from now on, when we talk about Power BI, columns are called as fields. Okay. And the rows are called as rows or records. Okay. So in a database, we have fields. These are called fields. Okay. And this will be called as your row data. Clear? Then based on that, we actually wrote down certain KPIs. Okay. Now, as I told you that month-wise sales is something that we can track whether my sales is growing or not. Okay. That also becomes one of the KPI. That becomes one of the item of my report card. Then comes ship mode. We had various different ship mode. Okay, as I told you that let us imagine this database as a Amazon record, Amazon sales data update, Amazon sales data, right? So it has order date, ship mode, customer name, segment. Okay, all these different criterias are there. Then we have country, state, city, right? Region. Then we had actually seen in detail what is category and subcategory. As I explained to you that let us take a super bazaar example where categories are what? Groceries, electronics, and clothes. Okay. And subcategories can be what? Subcategory can be further bifurcating your groceries into green groceries and normal groceries, right? And at the same time, if you want to bifurcate electronics, then it would be TV, refrigerator, and washing machine. Okay, so these becomes your subcategory. And clothing, you can have men, women, and kids. Okay, so category and subcategory is very, very important for any database. Okay, so this becomes your subcategory. And under subcategory, then comes your product. That is whether the TV is of LG, Samsung, or any other company, right? Now, always remember in at a dashboard level, we always go from top to bottom. Okay, we don't go bottom to top. We don't analyze products first, then subcategory and category. Okay, it is always, it goes from top to bottom when it comes to analysis, right? So it is always from top to bottom. What do I mean by that? Top to bottom means first we are going to analyze the category. Then we are going to analyze subcategory. And then if it is required, okay, then we will go for our product wise analysis. Right? Clear? This is how my chain will go in as far as analysis is concerned. Right? Clear? Then we came across top 20 customers. Again, very, very important. For a business, it is very, very important to understand what is top 20, top 10, top 20. How it is going to help us? It is going to help us concentrate more on our good customers, those who are regularly buying from us. Maybe we might want to offer some additional discount to them and many more other things, right? Then segment wise sales, if my business is into segments, so segment wise sales will tell me, okay, which segment is performing how, right? These are various different kinds of analysis that we can do. Then we had country-wise sales, category-wise sales, and subcategory-wise sales. Okay, so these are few KPIs that we have decided. Okay, so whatever activity that I have done, every time whenever a data comes to you, the first point is to understand the data. Then we'll start our work when it comes to when it comes to understanding what will be the KPIs and how we can analyze the data. Now, since my KPIs are ready, now I am good to go to the Power BI dashboard directly. Now, before that, how many of you have actually installed Power BI in your system and you have logged in through your laptop? Okay, great. So, if possible, follow along with me. Okay, if it is possible. Sometimes some people might find it very difficult to listen and then do it at the same time. So I will just keep it up to you. It is better if you can follow along if you have Power BI installed. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just give you this file, okay, in the chat box, right? That will help you start doing the things along with me. Just a second. So let me just send you this file. So I've given the file in the chat box. It will load in some time. Okay. I'm just sending it in the WhatsApp group also, in case if you find it difficult to find it in the. Let me just share it once. I hope you guys have received the file, right? It is in the chat box.
Right, right.
Okay. And I have sent it in the WhatsApp as well, right?
Okay.
Let me just show my screen. Now, what we'll do is that we'll go very, very slow. Okay. Initially, our main job is to not to get overwhelmed by a lot of things. Let us just understand it step by step. Okay. So let me just go into my search box. I'll have a Power BI desktop installed. I'll just click on that. Right now, the main purpose of me going step by step is I don't want you to get overwhelmed by a lot of things. Okay. So you can just follow along. You can just we'll just transition or navigate into the portal step by step. Now, see, once you open that, you get a blank report option. Okay, you can just click on blank report. So I'll have a blank report. This is a blank report that I have. Okay, let us understand some of the things that are there in this part of the report. Okay, now what I want you is to focus on this one, that is data, this extreme right hand side. I want you to focus on data, visualization, and filters. That's it. Only three things are for the initial 2-3 classes. We'll be using only these three things. Okay, you don't have to just go and see something else. Okay, so I am just trying to give you some confinement when it comes to starting our journey with tool, because you guys are quite new to it, right? So the first thing that I said was you have to just follow this data visualization and filters. This part you have to somewhere focus upon, right? Now, if you can see the top part, you just ignore it for the time being. Whatever is there, home, insert, modeling, just don't look into it as of now. We will see it at a later stage, right? Clear? And the third part is this. Can you see this report view, table view, model view, and tax? Okay. Now, here also, this model view and this tax query view, we are not bothered about that. What we are bothered about is report view and this table view. Okay. So why I'm actually introducing this table view is sometimes what happens is that by default, by mistake, we end up clicking somewhere else. So if I click here, some different window will come. Okay. If I click here, the model view will come. If I click here, my table view will come, and here my report view is there. Right now, initially for 2, 3, 4 classes, we are going to do everything on report view. Okay. But in case by mistake you click somewhere here, then you should know how to come back. That's why I'm telling you to focus on all these things. Is it clear? Till now, whatever I have told you, is it clear? Any doubt?
Yes, Rahulji, it's clear.
Great. Now, the first point is let us just upload our data. I hope the data is ready with you. But before uploading, there are few points that you need to keep in mind is the file that you are uploading, it should not be open. Right now, if you can see, my file is closed. So the Excel file that you are going to add, it should be closed. Otherwise, it will not upload. Clear? Now, if you can see here, there's an option of import data from Excel. Okay. On the face of it, I am getting a import option. I just click on import data from Excel. So it will directly try to search that file in my data, right? So I just select the file. This was my file, Global Superstore 2023, which I shared with you as well. I just open that. So it will take some time to load, depending upon the size of the data. Now see, here, this part is very important. Here it is giving me 3 sheets. So if you remember, I have 2 more sheets in that data. But the main data is there in 2023 file. The sheet, sorry. The sheet having the name 2023 is my main file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this. So once I click on this checkbox, my data will be loaded here. Now, make sure that when you click on this or when you checkbox it, make sure that the preview of the data is available here. If it is taking some time to preview, that means you need to wait, right? Clear? So sometimes when the data is in huge volume, it might take some time to preview the data, right? So what is preview? This is just a small snapshot of what data we had in our Excel file. So it is trying to show you that this is the data that you are trying to upload. Now, rest of the sheets I don't want to upload because that is of any use for me. So once I click on this 2023, I have load and transform data option. As I told you that the first point was to extract. The second point was to transform. But right now, we are not focused on understanding the transformation. We will first see if we get the correct data, how can we create visualization? Then step by step, we'll go into transformation, right? So the first point is I'll just load this data. So once I click on load data, it will take some time to load the data based on the size of the file. Now see 17,530 rows were there in that data. And if you can see here under data, there is a file called 2023. Okay. Now the data has been stored in my Power BI. Now the first thing, if you might see, is we have not saved our PBIX file. This document which is open right now, it is not saved. So I might lose my work. So what I can do is that I can just click on Control S. Control S will allow me to save my file. I'll just go into the location. So maybe I'll just here at the bottom you will have browse this device. So you can click here and you can save this file. So right now I'm saving this file under this. So practice file August 24 is what I am giving the name to this file and save. So now this PBIX file, this file has been saved, as you can see, practice file dash August. So once you upload the data, make sure that you save the file so that you don't end up losing your data. Now, as you can see that this table has been uploaded and there is a arrow key. So if I click on this arrow key, I'll get all the fields. Okay. I'll get all the fields, various fields that are there in that table. Right. Now let us understand what these as you can see this icons, can you see the summation icon, this calendar icon, right? What are these icons and what it is telling us? Okay, let me just go into Excel sheet and explain you something related to. So when we talk about data type, okay, each field has a separate data type. Okay, how many data types are there? One is text, or we call it dimension also, right? Text and dimension are like, for example, categories, name of the categories, name of the category, subcategory, customer name, all the name related text, all the text related things will come under your text type. The type will be text. Then comes values, or it is called as measure also. Okay. Or it is, in simple terms, we can call it as numbers. So when we talk about this type, so what all things are going to come? Sales, profit, cost, number of units sold, and so on. All the number related data will come under this type, right? What is the third one? The third one is date. Date related data. So as the name suggests, order date, ship date, or maybe payment date, all these date related data come under this type. Okay, so broadly, how many types are there? There are three types when we talk about data types. Is it clear? Now let us understand how to identify the types here. So as you can see, whenever there is category, city, country, okay, wherever there is new alpha related data, there is no sign. That means wherever there is a text related data, there would not be any sign in front of those fields. Second is, if you can see discount, price, postal code, price, profit, quantity, row IDs. All these are what? These are numbers. So wherever there is a summation sign, that means that data type is number. Clear? Now, third one is date. As you can see this calendar sign. Can you see this month, order date, all these calendar signs are there. So calendar sign will tell me that this data type is your date format. Okay. Why this data types are important is because it is very, very important to treat all these data types separately. For example, when it comes to category, I cannot sum up the category, right? It is a foolishness to sum up something that is text. It is just like I'm summing up all the students that are there in the class. So there is no sense of summing them up. But at the same time, when I have some numbers, I can sum up the numbers of the students. I cannot sum up the students. That is how the difference between the two data types. Okay. So this data type, assigning the data type is very, very crucial. And the best part is Power BI makes sure that it assigns the data by itself. Okay. I did not do anything. I just uploaded the data and it has actually identified based on its intelligence that what data type is what. But as a data analyst, we should understand that what is data type. Sometimes what happens is that even Power BI is unable to detect the data type properly. Then what we need to do, we need to change it based on my understanding and based on my requirement, right? Yeah. So first of all, everything related to my fields. These are called fields. Fields are available here. And we don't, when we talk about creating a visual, we always use fields. We don't use row, right? I am not bothered about each and every row related data. I want to accumulate. I want to do a summation of all the data and then present into a dashboard, right? So that is how my data has been uploaded. Now, if you can see here, visualization. These are the various visuals that we can use for analysis, right? Again, I'm telling you, this might sound a bit overwhelming, but we will go step by step. Each visual is related to another. Okay. So ideally, this might look maybe how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7, and each has some 6 times of 42. Somewhere around 40, 45 visuals that we have. But what you need to master is only 5 to 10. Rest all are somewhere related to each other. So it is not about the visual, it is about the way how these visuals are made that we need to learn. Okay, so let us go step by step. Let us not rush. We will just see things step by step so that obviously initial stages when you are very new to the tool, it is always beneficial to focus on only the basic things, right? So let us create our first visual that is called a card visual, the most simplest and the most effective visual that we can create. Okay. So if you can see under fourth line, there is a visual. Okay. First of all, how many of you have actually, you are doing it along with me? If I can get to know. Okay. So Zelda is doing it along with me. Bhargav, Sachin, are you doing it along with me or you are doing it like
Yes, I am doing Rahulji.
great?
Yes.
So that is the best way to learn. Okay. If you can follow along, that is the best way to learn. Okay. Now, if you can see in the fourth row, there is a last visual that is called card visual. As you can see, I just click on this card visual. Okay, a small box will appear here. Now I'm going to keep it very, very simple. First card visual. So card visual is meant for showing a single value. Either you can show sales, or you can show profit, you can show discount, you can show any other thing, quantity sold, you can show cost, but one at a time. That is the only criteria of card visual. Okay. So I've created one card visual. Now, as you can see, now see one more very interesting thing. Right now, can you see this, corners, highlighted corners that are there? That means this visual is selected. For example, if I click somewhere else, so see this visual is not selected now. Why I am saying this is because if you can see here, what it is showing you, it is showing you values. But if I click here, it starts showing fields, right? Now, why I'm saying this to you is sometimes or many times, when you are new to the tool, you might end up clicking somewhere else and you don't have your visual selected. Then you will not have the field section to put your details, right? So always remember in this Power BI, each visual is separate. It has its own identity. If you want to change anything, you have to select that visual. So what is the sign of selection? If I select it, I have this, highlighted corners, right? This highlighted corner will tell me that, okay, guys, this visual is selected. Now, if I click on this and see there is a column called fields. Now, what I need to show is I need to show total sales, right? So I just go here and I have sales in my data. I have sales field. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to just click and drag this into fields. That's it. From here, under data option, and under this 2023, I have this sales field. I have just dragged and dropped it under the fields. Now it shows me that the total sales for me is 4.3 million, right? And it shows me the legend also. This is called legend. Legend is nothing but it shows what this visual belongs to. So right now this visual belongs to save. Okay, this is our first card visual. Okay, now those who are following along, have you been able to create it?
Yes, Rahulji, I created it showing 4.3 M's sum of
Correct,
sales.
correct, correct. So what you are going to do is, whenever I create here something, you create it and try to match the number. Right? Clear? So see, why I was saying that this only has only one value. For example, instead of sales, I want to have some other value. Let me just take shipping cost. If I drag and drop shipping cost over sales, the sales will be removed. Can you see this? The sales is gone now. What has taken the place of sales? The sales place was taken by shipping cost. So this visual allows me only to put value one at a time. Okay. If it is sales, then sales. If it is not sales, then whatever you want, like cost, profit, whatever you want, you can put it right now. And one more thing, if you might have used Excel, so there is a concept of Control Z, undo. Same concept can apply in Power BI also. So if I want to go back to my previous step, I'll just click on Control Z and I'll be back on my visual, right? So these are, very, very small details that I'm trying to give you at every point of time, okay, so that you can make yourself comfortable with the tool, right? So hopefully this has been created, but this is not complete. This is not complete. So when we talk about a visual, okay, so I'm just trying to, move between the sheets so that you can, understand it better. Okay, I don't like to actually write with that pen, with the mouse pointer. I'm not good at it. I'm good at writing in Excel. So I'm trying to explain you everything in Excel. So, that's why I'm moving around. Okay. So let me just write visual. When we talk about visual, it is also a process, right? Creating a visual, it is a process. The first step of creating a visual is build visual. Then the second step of it is formatting, right? So this is the step of creating a visual, right? So this is how we are going to go while creating a visual, right? So in my visual right now, I have only done a build visual. Can you see this? Under this visualization, there are three different subparts to it. Right now, I am at this part, that is visualization. Under visualization, I have these fields which I have selected. Now comes the formatting part. If you go here, format your visual, click on format your visual, and here I will get the options of actually beautifying my visual or maybe formatting my visual, right? So under this also there are two subparts, okay? Visual and general. Let us understand it one by one. Okay. Right now I was there in build visual. Okay. The fields was selected, that is sales. Okay. Then I go to format visual. Under format visual, there are various different changes that I can do with this visual. Clear? Right? So right now I am under format visual and visual part. Let me just go into call out value. What is call out value? As the same name suggests, value. Whatever this 4.3 that you can see, this is called this is called call out values. Okay. So if you want to do some changes into it, for example, if you want to increase the size, so you can increase the size. As you can see that the size is getting increased, right? You can increase the size, decrease the size. You can change the color, right? You can change the color. For example, if I want to keep it blue, so I can keep it blue. Maybe let me just choose some other blue so that, yeah. So this blue I have, selected. Okay. Now comes, or I can make it bold also. I can make it bold. So all these changes, the way we do it in Excel, the same kind of options that are available with me in Power BI as well. Right? Clear? Now comes display unit. What is display unit? Right now, this 4.3 M. What is M? That is billion. Right? Right now, I tried. Power BI is smart enough to actually understand the display units. Right now, it is auto. What do you mean by auto? Auto means that automatically Power BI, based on its own knowledge, can assign whether it is million or it is K or it is thousands or it is, a normal value. It will assign based on its own capabilities. But we have an option of changing it. For example, I want to show this in thousands. So I'll click on thousands. So I'll have this big number. Clear? If I want to show it in millions, I can show it in millions also. If I want to show it in billions, I can show it in billions also. Of course, my number will be gone because 4.3 million, if I convert it into billion, then it will be somewhere 0.0004, something like that. Okay. So that can be changed also. But right now, for us, millions is fine. So I'm keeping it as millions. Okay. Let me just decrease the size. Right. Clear? Now comes value decimal. Decimal places. How many decimal places do you want? Right now, by default, it is auto. Auto means, 2 decimal points. If you can see here, 4.30, it is showing me. For example, if I want to see only one decimal, I can just reduce it from here. So see, it is 4 million. If I make it 1, it is 4.3. If I make it 2, it is 4.30. If I make it 3, it is something else, right? And so on. So also you can decide how many decimal pointers you want to keep, right? Clear? Is it fine? That is what is formatting the callout value is all about. Clear? Next comes category label. The sum of sales, as you can see, the sum of sales. This is called category label. Okay. So category, it is not that category and subcategory which we discussed. This is a category only for this visual. That is the sales. So what data it has, it is going to show me in the form of a label. So it is labeling that, look, this is sales. This is sum of sales. Okay. Now always remember, most of the time, or in all, or maybe, I think all the times, we always keep this category label as off. We don't keep it as on. Why don't we keep it as on? Because I don't want to show sum of sales. I want to at least give a label or a heading based on my own requirement. I want to show it as total sales. I don't want to show whatever is there in default. So right now, the default is sum of sales. So I'm just going to make it off. Now the problem is 4.3 million is the number that is being reflecting, but I don't know what is it, whether it is sales, profit. Okay. In that case, what I need to do, I need to go under general. Can you see this general? So if you click on general, there's an option called title. If you click on title, then it'll give you an option to write your own title. Okay. So I'll just click on total sales. Can you see this total sales coming up? Right now, I can increase the size of it. Maybe I'll just make it 25, or maybe let us increase it. As you can see, this value is getting increased, right? I can make it center, right? And I can make it bold. And one more thing I can do is that I can change the color, okay, to match it to my number, right? As you can see that, we are just trying to beautify. Our number is not getting changed, right? I'm just trying to increase the quality of my visual with the help of these options. If I want to have a background, I can also have a background like this, something like this. Okay. So this is all based on your creativity. Okay. So this allows you to be creative and apply the formatting based on that. This looks good, right? So in this way, you can beautify your visual. Now, initially, when I started doing visualization, I used to think that 4.3 million will always be 4.3 million. Okay, it is not going to change. Why to format it? Okay, but the reality is, in today's world, number has become secondary. How you present it has become a primary thing. Okay, maybe you might be giving a wrong number, but if the presentation is wow, then people might forgive you. Okay, but if you are giving a right number and the presentation is poor, then they might not forgive you, right? So that is how this the overall visualization has come to a point. Okay, obviously, if something looks good, then people get attracted, right? That is how it goes for visuals as well. Okay. And now one more thing I want you to understand is, whenever you are creating a visual, try to have a two color combination. Right now, if you see, I have intentionally chosen two colors. One is blue and one is white. So max to max, you can have three color combinations while creating a dashboard. We'll see it at a later stage. All I want you to is to understand that while creating some visuals, or while creating a dashboard, you should have a two color coding that will help the user to have comfort with the numbers. If you have one visual in blue, another visual in red, and so on, then it looks like a clown, right? So let us not make our dashboard a clown. Okay, let us keep standardization when it comes to colors, right? So right now, for my purpose, I have taken two colors, right? Blue and white. So either my text and the headings will be in blue, or it will be in white. Okay, clear? Is it fine? Till now, have you been able to follow it along? How many of you have actually made it like this, exactly like this? Have been able to make it like this? Great, superb. Sachin, Bhargav,
Yes.
Yes, I have created this.
great. So I hope you are able. Like it is not a though we have not done anything extraordinary, but yeah, I hope you are able to navigate it properly, right? There is no big challenge, there is no hassle in navigating, right? So initially, let us take baby steps. Let us try to get ourselves familiar with the tool, and then we will start doing other things as well. Now see here, title I have effects also. If I want, I can also give a background to this visual like this also. Okay, that depends on my creativity. Right now, I don't want it because the code that I have taken, the color coding that I have taken, it is white and blue. So I am just keeping the background as white. Clear? Now comes, so right now, just to just for you to follow along, we have just completed this title part. Okay, we have just completed this title part. Now I am coming out of title. I am going into effects. So under effects, the first point was background. Then visual border, very, very important. Let me just make it on. Now see, my visual has a border. Earlier, there was no border that was there in my visual. Okay. So visual border, you can create it by going into effects and visual border. Now under visual border also, what color do you want to choose? As I told you that I'm going to use only two colors, blue and white. So because the background is white, I'll choose a blue line, right? So it is not necessary, but I want to keep it simple. So I'll put it as a blue line. Now it is somewhere going with my visual. Clear? Now let me go back. Effects. Now see here, rounded corners. Okay, rounded corners. Can you see this rounded corners option? Now, if you want to have, see right now it is a square. There are no rounded corners. There are straight corners, 90-degree corners are there, as you can see. Now, if I want to have a rounded corner, I can do that with the help of this visual, under visual border rounded corners. I'll just keep it as 12. Why do I keep it as 12? Because I want these kind of corners. Can you see this? These kind of corners I want. Okay. So 12 means what, like what, in what density do you want to do your, or choose your corners or make it rounded? So I want these kind of rounded corners. You can increase and decrease based on that, but I keep it standard as 12. Okay. Or maybe what you can do is that you can just use this bar. Can you see this bar? You can just click and drag and drop to see. So if I increase it to 15, my rounded will be like this. It will be more rounded. Okay. So as a practice, what I do is that I just put 12 because 12 looks a bit fine. Okay. Clear? So this is how you have a rounded, corners of your visual. Right now, you might be wondering, why are we, after doing all the changes in a single visual? Why I'm doing this is because these changes are common for most of the visuals. So once I tell you this, then in other visuals, you will have the same kind of options that are available. So under effects, we have seen background, visual border, shadow. You can keep a shadow also. Can you see the shadow coming up? So what I'm doing is that I'm just increasing the aesthetics of the visual. That's it. Okay. Only the aesthetic of the visual is getting updated. But if you can remember what we created in the first go and what we have created now, there is a huge difference. Okay, that is the difference between amateur Power BI developer and a mature and a experienced one. Okay, that is how you can see the difference, right? So this I have done the effects also. Header icons we don't need because already we have our header and everything. Tooltips and alt text is fine. So these are the major changes that were required for a card visual. Now, in the same way, I'm going to create a card visual for sales is done. I am going to create a card visual for profit. I'm going to create a card visual for quantity. I'm going to create a card visual for shipping cost. Now, do I need to do the same things, same activities again and again? Then even if we create card visuals in this space, then it will take us 1.5 hours to just create the card visuals only, right? So is there a workaround? Yes, there is a workaround. Okay. So let us, okay, first, when you are going to create a new visual, you have to deselect the old visual. You have to somewhere select in the blank space. If you don't select it, for example, if I click here and if I try to click here, so it is already created. Can you see this? Then many students come to me and tell me that, sir, whatever you have taught is wrong because we are trying to create a new visual, but we are unable to do it. So until unless you leave the old visual, you will not be able to create a new one. So just click on the blank space that I have in the report and let me click on another visual. Now this visual, this time I'm going to put profit. So I have profit here. I can put profit under fields. Now see automatically, see how smart BI is. Okay. Automatically it has converted it into K, that is thousands. It knows that if I convert it into millions, then the number will not make any sense. Right? Clear? Now my sum of profit is available. But the problem is that, again, the same problem. Do I have to do all the settings again and again? Okay, the answer is no. There is a workaround. So if you click on this visual, the previous visual, there is an option of format painter. Can you see this? You can click on this format painter and just click on the other visual. Now see, my visual is almost formatted. Okay, let us have, what we need to do. We need to do some changes, but most of the changes and the color coding are in place. Okay, let me just go. First of all, let me just change the values to k, that is 1000. So k value is this, but I don't want to have decimals, so I'll make decimals as 0. So this number is fine. Clear? Now comes the title. I need to put the title. So this is total profit. So see, why my heading was not coming? Because I couldn't put my title. So once I put the title, it will be available. Clear? 1000 and make it 0. Now see, in first visual, it took us 10-15 minutes to understand and create it. But in the second visual, we have created it in a jiffy, right? That is the that is how we have to go about it. Okay. There is one more option. If you don't want to use a format painter, let us do a copy paste. We can do a copy paste as well. So for example, if I want to create one more visual of shipping cost, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on profit and I'll copy and paste. That is Control C, Control V. So I have one more visual. I have one more visual of total profit. Let us just change this. So instead of profit, I'll just remove profit from here and I'll put shipping cost. Now, one more thing. There are two ways of searching a field. You can just go and search here, but sometimes you have more than 50 fields and you are unable to trace it. So there is a search box also. Can you see the search box? Just click on shipping cost. So I can see the shipping cost. I'll just click and drag it into fields. Now see, I did not do anything. I just removed it. The only thing that I need to change is the title. I'll just go here, general, title. I'll just put it as ship cost. That's it. So there are various workarounds that you can do, okay, in order to create your cards or any other visual also. I hope these three visuals are, you have been able to create it. Okay, Bhargav has sent it on the chat also. Very good. Clear? Hope everybody is comfortable creating it. So I want you to actually
Yes.
explore all the different ways. Okay. As I told you that format painters was one of the way. Then copy pasting is one of the way. Okay. It depends on, how comfortable you are with any of the ways. Okay. Right. So, let us take a quick 5 minutes break. Okay. And then come back quickly. Okay. Usually when I take 1.5 or 2 hour classes, I make it a point to have a break. Okay. So just take a quick break and come back. Okay. We'll be live only. So you don't need to just, leave the class. Okay. Let us be on live and let us take a quick 5 minutes break. Okay. Okay, guys, can we start? Sachin, Bhargav, Zelda, can we start?
Yes, Rahulji, please start.
Okay, great. So let me just reshare my screen.
Yes.
So let us quickly create one more, that is quantity sold. Let me just remove this. Let me just put quantity here, and don't forget to change the title. Okay, quantity sold. Correct. Let me just change this decimal to. Now, see, one more interesting thing is that if you don't want to go, one by one, if you know that there is an option of decimal, there is an option of, corners, okay, all these keywords, if you know, what you can do is that, for example, here, I want to reduce the decimal. So I know there is a keyword that is called decimal. So what I can do is that I can go into format visual, and here there is a search box. So I just write decimal. So it will directly get me to that place. Otherwise, what I need to do, I need to go into callout value, and then I need to go into decimal. So this can actually save some time for us, right? So other things are fine here. So that is what it is. For a dashboard, these cards are very, very important. Most of the dashboards have cards at the top. Now, one more visual that we can create is number of countries in which we have presence. Okay. Now this is tricky. How it is tricky is because of the fact that till now, whatever we have used to show our numbers were all these values. Okay. So as you can see, profit was a value, quantity was a value, right? Sales was a value, shipping cost was a value. But now I want country, count of countries, just to know that what is my presence. Most of the times, every organization in their dashboard try to show their presence. Okay, in how many countries do they have business, right? Now, this is a bit tricky. Let us first create it. Let me just copy this visual and paste it. Let us just manage the size. Now, I'll just remove it and I'll put country. But problem is, can you see this? AFGHA, that means it is showing me the alphabetical order first country, that is Afghanistan. Now I cannot show like this, okay? Because I want the total country. Okay, how many countries do I have my presence? That is count of countries. Now, is there any workaround? Yes. If you see here, right now under fields, there is first country. That means it is showing me the first country name, because this is not a value field. I hope you are getting the difference between value field and a dimension. This is a dimension. This is the name of the country. I cannot sum the name of the country, correct? As I told you, I cannot sum the name of the students. I can sum the marks that were received by the students. Okay. So is there a workaround? Yes. If you can see here, there's a drop down. It has first, last, count, and count distinct. Let us understand both. Let me just click on count. So 18,000 countries. Do we have 18,000 countries in all across the world? No. We have around 300 countries, right? If I understand it correctly. Why it is 18,000? Because it is actually counting the duplicate also. So if a country is maybe 10 times, it is counting that countries 10 times. So I always go for count distinct. Okay, now it is 0K. Why it is 0K? Because the unit that I have selected is thousands. Let me just go here, and again, I'll just press unit. I'm not going to, now I'm not going to go into the specific place. I know that there is something called units. Here, I'll put it as none. So see, 146 countries. Now this number is correct. Clear? I'll go here and change the title. I'll just put countries. Clear? I hope you got the, got that count. Okay. Count is something that we are going to change from here. Under fields, click on drop down, count, distinct, so that we can count the unique numbers. Okay. So now I can clearly see that I have my presence in 146 countries. You might have seen a lot of companies brag about their presence, right? That is how they do it. Clear? Is it clear? Card visuals. Are you comfortable with card visuals? Have you been able to create this country's visual? Yes, no? Have you got 146 as the number?
Yes, Rahulji.
Great. Others also? Sachin, Zeda?
Yes. Yes.
Superb, superb. Now let us go into the next visual. Okay. Let us go into the next visual. Now we are going to, right now we actually, if you see, I have actually broken the sequence. I have given you, I have made you learn the this visual, fourth line, last visual. Now we are going to go by the sequence. We are going to learn the visual based on sequence. We'll start from this visual, that is stacked bar chart. Now, before understanding this, let us understand two things that is called x-axis, y-axis. So it is very important to understand what is x-axis and what is y-axis, because we are going to create the visual based on that. I hope everybody knows that what is x-axis and y-axis. Let me just show you once. Here, this part is called y-axis, and this part, it is called x-axis, right? Clear? So why I am telling you is because each and every visual will be made based on deciding whether it is an x-axis or whether I need to put the detail in x-axis or y-axis. Clear? So we need to keep in mind that this vertical thing, okay, we can understand it like this also. Vertical is always y-axis and horizontal is your x-axis. Clear? Right? Now this, why we have discussed this, I'll just show you. Let us go into our first visual, that is called stacked bar chart. Let me just click on, okay, again, I am telling you the same thing. If you click here and if you try to create a new visual, this visual will be changed. Okay. So always remember, before creating a new visual, you have to click on the blank space. Click on new visual. Right. This is called as stacked bar chart. Why it is called as stacked, I'll just explain you. But first, let us understand this. Now see, with each and every visual, the fields will be separate. If you remember, in card visual, there was only one field. So there was no x-axis, y-axis, only one number. But now we have, can you see this x-axis, y-axis, legend? So with each visual, it has its own characteristics. Correct? So right now I have y-axis and x-axis, right? Let us create one visual which is called as category wise sales. Very simple. Category wise sales. Sales by category, you can say it, or category wise sales. Okay. Now what it shows me? It shows me that what is the sales composition based on category. It is as simple as that. So in category wise sales, there are two things that I want. One is category and another is sales. Yes or no? Now I know that there are the two things that I need to have, but whether to put sales in x-axis or to put sales in y-axis, whether to put category in x-axis, whether to put category in y-axis, I don't know. Okay. So the best way of understanding where to put what is to, to try to identify one. So we have two axes, x-axis and y-axis. If I identify what has to be put in x-axis, automatically the other will be in y-axis. Yes or no? So let us try to create a visual category-wise sales. Now see, can you see these bars which are going from left to right? So these bars are based on the values. If the value of that category is more, the size of the bar will be more, which somewhere indicates me that my sales should be in y-axis. As I told you here, horizontal and vertical. Okay. Can you see this horizontal and vertical I told you? Same way here also imagine the same thing. If my bar has to go from low to high, it should have some number at the bottom, right? So in this case, my sales will be in y-axis. Not sorry, x-axis. So see, all the million numbers have come at the bottom. Now, the second thing that I need to do is category. I'll put category in y-axis. So my visual is ready. Clear? So in this kind of visual, the most important part is to understand, okay, what is going to be in x-axis, what is going to be in y-axis. Okay. If you understand it based on the bars, okay, so bar is going from left to right. Okay, and the size of the bar will be based on the sales value. If the sales is going to go up, the size of the bar will also be going to go up, right? Is it clear? Have you been able to create it? Yes, no?
Yes, Rahulji.
Correct. Now, again, the first step is over only. We have been able to only create the visual. Now comes the part of formatting it. Now, always remember, each visual has its own different kind of formatting. There is no standard, but there are some formats that will always stay. For example, font will always stay. Okay, size of the font will always stay. Title will always stay. Okay, rounded corners will always stay. So all these things which we discussed in card visual, any which ways they are going to come in other visuals as well. But there are some additional formatting options that are available over and above that. So if you can see x-axis and y-axis, so we have separate x-axis and y-axis formatting. Let us go into y-axis. So again, can you see this technology, furniture, and office supplies? These are labels and these are values in x-axis. I can increase the value size if I want to. Okay, I can make it bold. Can you see this changes happening? Clear? I can change the color. Let me just keep the color based on my theme. So what I have decided to keep it as blue and white. So I'll just put blue. Okay. Here title. So here, as I told you that I already know that this technology, furniture, and office supplies are category. There's this kind of category label or title is not required. So I'm going to make it off. Okay. So I'm just increasing the value and the aesthetics of this visual, right? Clear? So these were the changes that I've done in y-axis. Let us go and do some changes in x-axis. First is the values. So here, can you see this zero point 0.0 million? So this value is starting from 0.0 million. I can change it and I can start it with 1 million, 2 million, whatever I want. Okay. So for example, let me just put minimum value as 1 million. Can you see this? Can you see the changes happening? Okay. Maximum value, you can put it at maybe 2 million or 3 million. 3 million is very high. So let us make it 2 million or 1.5 also we can do. Right. This is correct. 1.5 or 1.6. So this you can manage it based on your requirement so that it should look better. Now comes values. All these values at the bottom, I can make it bold. I can change the color to blue to have a similar theme. Clear? Display units. Right now it is showing millions. If I want to change, I can change it. If I want to remove the decimals, I can remove the decimals. Okay. Clear? So based on your requirement, you can do the changes. Now see, at the bottom, I already know that this is sum of sales. I don't need a separate label or title for that. I'll just remove that. Now see, step by step, I'm trying to do what? I'm trying to change the aesthetics of this visual. Clear? Now this is done. X-axis is done. Grid line. If you want to put some grid line, you can put some grid lines also. Can you see this grid lines coming in between? Dotted grid lines. So if you want, you can put it, but usually we don't put grid lines. Okay. So I'll just keep it as off. What is zoom slider? Zoom slider is very, very important. If I make it on, can you see the slider coming in? So if you remember, we actually changed the minimum value and maximum value. Instead of doing that, we could have created the slider. Can you see this? This slider is going to change based on my requirement. Okay. This slider is used majorly when there are multiple values and you have to change the maximum and minimum value every now and then. Okay. So zoom slider is something that you can use. Right now, it is not of much use, so I'll just keep it off. Now comes bar. This is very, very important. Right now, if you can see, every bar is of same color, that is blue. This I can change based on my requirement. So for example, let me just go into technology. I'll select technology from here and I'll change it to this color. Let me go into furniture and I change it to this color. Let me go into office supplies and change it to this color. So let us make it more colorful, right? Clear? So this is also one of the way of showing your numbers. Okay. You are just bringing life to your data. Now comes ribbons is something that you can put, but I don't put it. Okay. It looks like this. So usually we don't put ribbons. Okay. Ribbons is nothing but it will show you, the bar will show you as a ribbon, but we don't generally put it. So let us just keep it off. Now this is very important, data labels. Can you see this? Till now, I could only see the bars. I couldn't see the values, the labels. I couldn't see the labels, right? If I click on this, I can see the exact value also. 1.62 million is the exact value for all, to my 1.62 is technology, furniture is 1.38 and office supplies is 1.31. Okay. So here I can either have some, this x-axis labels, or I can show it like this also. I can show the numbers, exact numbers also. Under data labels, you have some settings that you can do. Values, you can make it bold. And under display units, you can change the display units. Right now, millions is fine for me. So I'll keep it like that. Let me just put it as 1 decimal. So 1.6 million, right? Then background. If I want to keep some background to this, can you see this background? Small background coming in. So why do we keep background? Sometimes what happens is that we are unable to actually see the label due to some color combination issue. So what I can do is that I can click on the background and I can give some background to. Can you see this backgrounds? I can click on the background and I can increase the transparency also so that my labels can be highlighted, right? So these are some of the changes that you can do to your, visual. Okay, one more thing is that positioning. Let me just see. Positioning. Can you see this auto? You can put it inside end also. Can you see this? Now my labels are inside end of the path. I can put it outside end also. I can put it inside center also. And I can put it inside base also, something like this. Right? So usually, as a practice, we put it inside end so that it can show what is the sales. Now see this at the bottom, whatever is 1 million, 1.2 million is something that is, even if I remove it, nothing is going to change. So let me just remove the x-axis values. So now see my visual is looking better, right? Clear? Now let me go into title, change it to category, wise sales, or let us say sales by category. Let me just increase the size to maybe 25, right? Let me make it bold. Center, change the color. So this I'll keep it as white and I'll give it the background, which we discussed, something like this. Now see, sometimes what happens is that, and especially with those people who are color blind like me, okay, I am unable to match the colors. Okay, so what I can do is that I can click on this and format paint and do the format paint here. Okay, but the problem is these formats also get changed. Okay, so that is also one of the way of changing your visual. Let me just go into corners, visual border. Let me make the corner as 12 and under effects, under visual border, I need to keep it as blue. Now see, I am able to somewhere follow and sync the visual. Now, one more thing that I need to do is I need to keep a shadow. That's it. My category wise sales visual is ready. Have you been able to create it? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Zeta, Sachin, Bhargav.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Rahulji. Done.
Super, super. Okay. Okay. So that is it for today's session. Okay. Hopefully you have been able to somewhere navigate properly in the visual. I have given you the data. You can practice it. Okay. Now after bar chart, okay, there are somewhere around 7 to 8 charts related to bar chart only. They are somewhere kind of bar charts with one or the other tweak. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you here. I'm really sorry. I forgot it. We have actually given x-axis and y-axis. There is one more option that is called legend. Now, what is legend? Right now, technology is 1.6 million. But under technology, there might be different kind of, like for example, technology is 1.6 million. Now I need to break this 1.6 million based on ship mode. Are you getting me? I have sold technology category product. The amount is 1.6 million. Now I want to see out of that 1.6 million, how much did I sell? How much did I sell, which was first, same day delivery? How much did I sell, which was maybe, standard delivery? So that I can see what is the composition of delivery. So for example, I am saying is total sales that I've done is 100. Now, 100 sales I might have done with various different kind of ship mode. Ship mode is shipping mode. Like for example, in Amazon, if you order a product, okay, it either comes by plane or some other mode, or it comes by same day delivery. So there are types of delivery. So same day delivery is there, or standard delivery is there. So these are called shipping modes. Okay. So let me just search ship mode. It is very simple. Let us just select ship mode and keep it in the legend. Just a second. Okay, in my data, I think it is all first. It is all standard class. Yeah? Why it is showing like this? Just a second. Why it is showing a single color? Let me just see. Let me just try to put subcategory. Yeah, subcategory makes sense. Though there are a lot of subcategories, so maybe I'll let me just see. Just a second, guys. Okay. Okay. So what is happening is that the value of these other class is very, very low. That's why it is showing the single color. Let me just change and show you something else. Order priority. Let us take order priority. Maybe that combination might work. Let's see. Instead of ship mode, let me put order priority. No. So see, what is happening is that major of our sale, most of our sale is based out of standard delivery. So everywhere we can see a single color. Okay. But let us see. Let us understand the concept with subcategory only. Now this is technology, and under technology there are various subcategories. Let me just increase it so that you can understand it. Now what this is showing me is, it is showing me that technology has two parts. Okay, phones and what is the next one? Machines, phones and machine. So now out of this, what is the percentage of phones and what is the amount of the phones and what is the amount of machines? So it is actually drilling down my sales related to my category. Okay, just like in furniture, I have chairs, that is 4.93. Then furnishing, that is this, and so on. Okay, so in this way you can bifurcate. Right now it is not making sense because our usually we do it on the basis of ship mode, but ship mode, the problem is major sales is under standard. Okay, so it is not making sense. But legend, you got the concept of legend, right? Right now you don't put legend in your visual. Okay, let us keep it simple, but you understood the concept, right? So if you want to, we'll see that break up in any other visual. Okay, but right now what you need to understand is technology. If I want to further break it down in some other criteria, that becomes my legend. So I can put the legend based on that. Right now I am just keeping it as simple. I'm keeping legend as no. Okay, so that was something that I wanted to explain you. Okay, so that is it for this session. Let us meet. I think Bhargav has done it, right? Okay. Segment wise, it is doing correct. Okay. So segment wise, it is making sense. Okay. But you got the point, right? So legend is nothing but breaking that bar into various different categories, subcategories, whatever you want to do. Okay. Till now, I hope everything is fine, right? You have been able to create it. Okay. I can see Sachin has also created it. Okay. Zeta, have you been able to follow it? Great. Okay, that is it for no. Yeah. Any questions? I'll be happy to take. Apart from even if you have any other question apart from Power BI, also we are happy to take that. Sachin, Bhargav, all good?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
everything is fine. There is no questions
Okay.
about because it is the initial stage.
True, true.
Yes, but till now
Okay,
it is very clear.
okay, great, great. So we'll intentionally the purpose is to actually get you familiar with the tool, and gradually we'll increase the level. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sachin, all good?
good, sir.
Zaida, any question?
No, none, but this was very insightful. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for attending. Okay, so that is it. See you next week, right? On the same timing. I guess timings are fine with you guys, right? 7 o'clock is fine both days. Okay. Okay. Take care. Good night, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
See you next
Yeah,
week.
good night. Bye.